I'm Steph Douglas, broker and CEO of Open House Austin, and I've covered my entire mortgage since I bought my house in 2013 by using house hacking strategies like the ones I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to show you 3 houses here in Austin, Texas that you could live in and rent out a piece of it on Airbnb and cover more than half your mortgage. Each of these houses are under $500,000. They're completely livable as is, but need slight modifications to make them rentable on Airbnb. I'll show you exactly what I would do to these houses so that you can live in style and build equity while spending less every month. Let's get started. The first house we're going to look at is listed at $430,000. Based on the location, you could get around $2,000 a month in Airbnb income, but let's take a look at what we'd need to do first to make that happen. This house is amazing because it's already fully renovated. The space is obviously beautiful. I'm going to show you the suite that you would be renting out. New countertops, new flooring, new appliances, everything's already done for you. The other great part about this is that there's an exterior entrance here, and so you wouldn't really have to do much structural work before you can get it started to rent. So they would enter here. This would be shared space, so you would need to put a door right here, but you'd have this over here where they'd enter their suite. This door would be lockable, so they could, make sure that they feel secure. They enter their suite here. It's a large bedroom, everything you need for a weekend stay. You're not going to put a full kitchen in here. They don't need that. It's kind of like a hotel room. They have space for their luggage. They have a closet, and they have a full bathroom right here. Literally all you need for a lovely stay in Austin. This space would rent for anywhere from $85 to $120 a night, depending on the night, which would put you right around $2,000 a month when you account for vacancies. You also want to account for cleaning and maintenance and supplies. So make sure that when you're running the numbers, you're not forgetting those things. Okay, let's go take a look at where you would be living. As a reminder, in this strategy, you don't have to see your guests at all if you don't want to. They have their separate entrance. There would be a door here that was lockable, so they wouldn't be in your kitchen. They wouldn't be in your space. You're living in this beautiful kitchen with this beautiful living room, and then there are 2 beds and a bathroom up here. So you have essentially a full 2-bed, 1-bath house that is all your own. You would be probably living in this room, which is not huge, but you're just gonna be sleeping in there. And then over here, you could have office. You could make this your closet. You could really make this your primary suite. If you can look at it creatively, you don't need the primary suite to be what they expect it to be. You can make this your own for not very much money. The mortgage on this house is roughly $3,200 a month. If you're making about $2,000 a month, that brings your part of the mortgage down to $1,200 a month, which is likely less than your rent right now. The other house we're going to look at today is right around the corner, similar price point, similar size. Let's go check it out and see which one would make us more money. Let's go. We're at the second house, but before we get into it, look what we found. There's chickens in the backyard. Obviously, these probably don't live here full time, but it's very cute. They probably belong to a neighbor. That shows that they like to be here. Oh, did you see that? It flew up. That's so cute. So they probably live over there, but it shows that you can have them. This is a huge space, blank canvas. There's not very much going on here. Okay, we're at the second property. This one has a little bit more startup costs. I'll show you how, but if you can get creative, it can cover more than half your mortgage. It's been on the market for a while too, so there's probably room to negotiate. Again, already renovated, so you don't have to do anything as far as flooring, walls. The kitchen's already nice. I like that for a first property for sure, because all you're doing is you're adding things to make you money, but you're not necessarily addressing any aesthetic or foundational structural things. It's nice for the first-time buyer. Follow me into the rentable suite, the Airbnb suite. This is the door that you would be closing off. Some people like to fully close it off with drywall. Some people like to just put a lockable door. I personally like to make it feel very private, and so I like to do drywall because it's very cheap and you can undo it if you want. So follow me into here. Again, really nicely done. This was a converted garage, so you're gonna step down, but that kind of still makes it feel more private. Okay, so upon entering, you're directly across from a closet, which is nice for potentially longer stay or hanging your event dress up. And then you have your full bathroom. Again, completely renovated, so you don't have to lift a finger in that regard. You're just really adding exterior door and interior door that makes it feel really, really private, unless you wanted to drywall here. But then you just have the same person come do all those things. It probably takes a couple days, not very much money for the amount of money you can get per month. We're talking ROI here. Your upfront investment is 100% worth it, where you're covering over half your mortgage on an asset that's growing in value year over year. I would probably budget around $5,000 to open this, make it a door, and then close this off. That is probably conservative. It's going to be probably less than that, but you also need to budget for furniture. You need to furnish it in a nice aesthetic way. And then supplies, linens, all of that startup cost, calculating what you're going to spend and knowing you're going to get that back within 2 or 3 months. This house is almost in the same location and it's almost exactly the same price. So we're looking at really similar numbers, but a completely different format. You're looking at roughly $85 to $100 a night in your Airbnb income, which equals about $2,000 into your pocket, roughly $3,200 a month in your mortgage, which means you're spending anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month on your living expenses. Amazing value for such a great location. You are close to so much, which is another reason that it's a desirable place for someone to want to Airbnb. You're lowering your costs. So instead of paying that full $3,200, you're only paying a fraction of that, and you're getting actually a really good quality of life, and you're living in an asset that is growing in equity, and you're not throwing your money away on rent. House hacking is great because you're supplementing your mortgage every month. So instead of paying that $3,200, you're paying, let's say, $1,200, which is likely less than your rent. And when you're done living here, let's say you live here for 5 to 8 years, you have the option to turn this into a cash flowing rental property when you go on to your next home, or you can choose to sell and cash in on that equity. And instead of having paid that full mortgage the whole time, you will have pocketed a large percentage of that. It was just smart overall. When you rent, you are throwing that money away. And when you leave your rental after 5 years, you go away with literally nothing. So it's just a really smart play for your future self. And if you eventually want to take over the whole house and not rent it anymore, you have that option too. By house hacking, you are just buying yourself tons and tons of options. This probably won't be where you live forever. The average first-time home buyer lives in their house for about 7 years. Take that into consideration and calculate all of your savings from renting part of your house out. You are saving so much money, putting that into savings, you're putting it into other investments to then make your future even brighter, make your buying power even more, so that you're in your dream house faster than if you had just rented that whole time. We have one more property to check out. It is closer to downtown and a little bit lower price point, so I'm excited to see the potential. I know that there's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, so that there is a house hackable option here. Let's go check it out. This is our third house. It's $499,000, but it makes sense because there are actually 2 ways that you could literally start making money as soon as you move in. So already, when you walk in, you can sense the larger price point. The kitchen is giant. You've got tons of space to live. And then let's go see the suites. Yes, I said suites. There are 2 that you could potentially rent out. You could choose one, or you could do both. This is the more luxurious of the 2. This is technically the primary suite. You have a large walk-in closet, a huge room where you could have kitchenette, bedroom, maybe even a living space, and then a gorgeous primary bathroom. Based on this space, this location, I think you get about $100 to $150 a night, which would bring in about $2,500 per month just with this space alone. This already has an exterior entrance, so there's no construction needed. You could lock the door over there that goes to the main house, or you could do a larger project with some drywall. This is our first rentable option. Let's go see option 2. As I run into the wall. Okay. Second option is put a wall here. This is their bathroom. It's gorgeous. You'd also put a wall here, so you're blocked off from the rest of the house completely. They already have an exterior entrance. No need for construction here. And then this is their bedroom quarters. So you have your bed, potentially your kitchenette in here. Tons of space for them. They don't need much more. It's kind of like a hotel room, like I said. Mini fridge, coffee maker, microwave, and they are set Actually, a really lovely place to stay for a weekend in Austin. So in total, this house has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You're giving up 1 bed and 1 bath, but you're left with 3 beds, 1 bath, which is plenty of space for 1 or 2 people. And when your friends come into town, you block off your Airbnb so they have a luxurious space to stay. It's actually the best of both worlds. You're getting income and you have an amazing place for guests. I hope you enjoyed our house hacking tour. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more house hacking, creative real estate strategies, and first-time homebuyer education. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.